Hey guys, it's Craig Campbell from Pastor Craig's Vintage Cards, and I want to share a story here about Jim Baumer, but it includes Mickey Mantle, and we all know who Mick is. These two guys were the best high school players in the state of Oklahoma coming out of high school, and the Chicago White Sox, they went first. They signed Jim Baumer to a contract in 1949 for $50,000. He was a power-hitting shortstop in Oklahoma. 2 days later, the New York Yankees signed Mickey Mantle for $1,500. That's $48,500 difference that the White Sox paid for Baumer versus what the Yankees spent on Mantle. In 1949, that was a lot of money. And that is where the similarity completely ends. We're going to look at Jim Baumer. Because of the size of the contract, Jim had to stay in the major leagues for that 1949 season. And he had 10 at-bats. And he had 4 hits. He was hitting 400 with a double and a triple. And then Jim stayed in the minor leagues, if you look at this card, until 1961. Almost 11 years in the minor leagues. And he got a call-up with the Reds in that 61 season. And he started 8 of the 13 games. He appeared in 10 of them. And then he was traded to the Detroit Tigers and sent immediately to the minor leagues, and thus ended his career. Jim appeared in 18 games in the major leagues, hit .206, 34 at-bats with 2 RBI. And that was it. Jim Baumer was done. And what a promising career. And it all came to an end. He hung around baseball. He was a scout, and then he ended up becoming a general manager for the Milwaukee Brewers in the 1975 through the 77 season. And it's just amazing that you look at how things turned out. The Yankees spend $1,500 and get Mickey Mantle 2 days after the White Sox spent $50,000. At the end of April, when Jim Baumer was done and traded to Detroit and no longer to appear in a major league game, Mantle had already amassed 277 home runs, on his way to 563, and a first ballot Hall of Famer. Just unbelievable, the disparity of the careers and the disparity of the money that was signed, to be honest with you. $48,500 in 1949 was a lot of money. And the White Sox surely did not turn out well on that one. But you know what? Jim hung around. He got a baseball card. This is his only card. And the card on the back, it just really tells a story. Jim will be getting another crack at the major leagues this year after a long apprenticeship in the minors. Good fielding shortstop, was signed by the White Sox and played 8 games in the majors back in 49. This time Jim is determined to stick. And unfortunately for Jim, he didn't stick. But he played in baseball. He was a GM in baseball. And that's a lot more than anybody else can say. And that's the story behind the cards. All these guys have a story. Yeah, this is a common from 1961. Yeah, it's off-centered, but you know what? It's in my collection. And I'm glad to know the story now about Jim Baumer and the connection to Mickey Mantle and just how things turned out. It really, really is remarkable. All right, guys, enjoy the hobby. Keep on collecting, and we will talk later.